What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's prediction video. For today, we're sticking with the round of 16 fixtures in the Euro 2024 for this weekend. And with this one, we will be looking at a massive European clash taking place on the 1st of July, that is this Monday, as France go head-to-head with Belgium. We kick off our team analysis with France. Now, the last 5 fixtures for Les Bleus have ended in 2 wins and 3 draws. Their last match was a 1-1 draw against Poland on the last day of the group stages last week. In these last 5 fixtures, France have scored 5 goals and conceded just 1. The first player I want to talk about here has got to be Kyliannn Mbappe. In 81 appearances for the French national team, Mbappe has scored 48 goals and racked up 34 assists. Now, Mbappe did miss one match during the group stage after damaging his nose on the opener. But he came back, and on the third match day, he actually finally managed to break his duck for this tournament. So Mbappe has 1 goal so far in this tournament, and I think we can expect to see Mbappe getting more goals. This is a very quick player, very fast with the ball and without the ball. He's able to hold defenses off, but I think it's his attacking awareness that makes Kyliannn Mbappe such a threat. He's the kind of player who can find space and find it very, very quickly. And if you give Mbappe too much space, he will score goals. Next up, I want to talk Atletico Madrid's Antoine Griezmann. In 132 appearances for the French national team, Griezmann has scored 44 goals and racked up 38 assists. Now, with Griezmann, you get a very dynamic playmaker. This is a player who's quite flexible, can play on both wings or behind your striker as a support striker or as a number 10 playmaker. And that's kind of where we've seen Griezmann operate for the last few matches for France. Just behind the striker, there to just help with bringing the ball from the midfield to the front line, but also giving a bit of a creative threat. Because for all of his passing and his dribbling ability, Griezmann is also the kind of player who can take long shots and convert them into gorgeous goals. He hasn't been able to do that so far for France in this tournament, but if given the opportunity, I think Griezmann is definitely the kind of player who can turn a match on its head. And finally, I want to talk French goalkeeper Mike Maignan. In 19 appearances for the French national team, Maignan has kept 11 clean sheets and conceded just 10 goals. So on average, he's keeping a clean sheet every second game. I think with Maignan, you have a very solid goalkeeper. When he plays for AC Milan, his absence on the pitch is definitely something his club really do feel. I think we do see just a very few appearances from Maignan for the national team, because before this was a role held by Hugo Lloris. But Maignan has really burst onto the scene, and ever since he started taking up a starting position for France, he has not let go of that goalkeeper position. Maignan is a very solid goalkeeper, fantastic with reading the game, fantastic with stopping shots. He's very intelligent as a keeper, and just having a keeper like Maignan between the sticks gives every single player on the pitch for France so much more confidence. When we look at Belgium, the last 5 fixtures for the Red Devils have ended in 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss. Their last match was a 0-0 stalemate against Ukraine on the last day of the group stages. In these last 5 fixtures, Belgium have scored 7 goals and also conceded just 1 single goal. The first player I want to talk about for Belgium has got to be Roma's Romelu Lukaku. In 118 appearances for his national team, Romelu Lukaku has scored 85 goals and managed to notch up 18 assists. In Lukaku, Belgium have a very solid target man. Lukaku's in theory the perfect number 9 right now. He's strong, he's powerful, he's quick, he's able to find finishes both on the ground with either foot or aerially with his head. I think right now maybe things are not gelling perfectly for Romelu Lukaku, but Lukaku as well is the kind of player where if given an inch, he can convert the most difficult chances into goals. Next up, I want to talk Manchester City midfielder Kevin De Bruyne. Now, in 104 appearances for his national team, De Bruyne has scored 28 goals and managed to rack up 49 assists. With De Bruyne, Belgium have a real creative midfielder. De Bruyne is quite flexible, so he can play centrally in your midfield in a deeper position. But right now, they're trying to utilize him as a number 10 playmaker, operating just behind Lukaku and right in the middle of either winger. With De Bruyne, you get a player who's got fantastic passing range. He's really the perfect midfield conductor. He can orchestrate things from the center of your midfield, spreading the ball out, creating space with his passing or even his movement off the ball. But De Bruyne as well is the kind of player where if you give him space, he can run in on his own, dribbling past players and score great individual goals. And finally, I want to talk Atalanta's Charles de Ketelaere. Now, in 15 appearances for the Belgian national team, de Ketelaere has scored just 2 goals. But I think so far, de Ketelaere might actually be the missing link for Belgium. In De Bruyne, they have someone who can pick passes. In Lukaku, they have someone who can convert chances. But in De Ketelaere, they have the player who can connect the two directly. De Ketelaere often tries to utilize his great pace to just dribble through opposition defenses, but he's also got the technical ability and the control to be able to shift defenses from side to side with his movement on the ball and off the ball as well. Next up, we look at the head-to-head. Now, the last 5 fixtures between France and Belgium have ended in 2 wins for France, 1 win for Belgium, and then 2 draws separating the two sides. In these last 5 fixtures, France have scored 7 goals, while Belgium have followed behind very closely with 6 goals. Right now, I think when we look at France, we can see they're looking slightly disconnected and a little bit dry up front. They seem to be lacking some kind of creativity or a connection between the players. It seems kind of like everybody's trying to play a different style of football, and it started to look like France have major chemistry issues. I think the injury to Kyliannn Mbappe as well did take France for a bit of a loop. They are a side built around Mbappe, trying to focus on his strengths and cover his weaknesses, and you can see that without him, they do struggle to perform on certain days. Thankfully, Mbappe was able to break his duck in the tournament against Poland, and French fans will be hoping that with that single goal comes many, many more. I think, however, something that France can take real confidence from is knowing they've conceded just 1 goal in the build-up to this match. It shows that defensively they're very solid, and they do have some very, very good defenders just individually as well. Players like Saliba can match a striker like Lukaku for pace, for strength, for aerial ability. And players like Jules Koundé are very intelligent at picking up runs and finding opposition players who are trying to utilize space out wide. The energy of a player like N'Golo Kanté down the center as well gives France so much endurance and stamina, and they're just able to put pressure on the ball when they do not have possession so that they can cycle it through to the forward players to counter-attack and use their 4-3-3 formation to the best of its ability. I think, however, Antoine Griezmann and Ousmane Dembele in particular have been quite disappointing, and the two of them need to be taking a little bit of pressure off Mbappe if this France squad is looking to really perform at their best level in this tournament. I think for Belgium as well, they're looking slightly dry up front. Romelu Lukaku has been scoring goals, but unfortunately and unluckily, he has been ruled offside or the goals have been disallowed. And I think that also shows that Belgium have become too reliant on Romelu Lukaku to get goals. They do have other players who can score in Jeremy Doku from Manchester City and Trossard from Arsenal and also Kevin De Bruyne. So it's not for lack of quality in the goal scoring department that Belgium are struggling to score. I think also putting De Bruyne in that number 10 role in this 4-2-3-1 formation kind of leaves him a little bit isolated in that hole. What's happening is Belgium are looking to play the ball to De Bruyne, and then everybody else just gets picked off, and De Bruyne now is to create something out of nothing. And De Bruyne sometimes struggles to do so when there's not enough space on the pitch. And that leads to Belgium's tactics looking just very, very predictable as a whole. I think it's time for players out wide like Doku and Trossard to step up and provide a little bit of creativity on those wings. Before, Belgium were very fortunate to have a player like Eden Hazard, and now they don't. So the creativity needs to come from somewhere else. I think in particular, if they opt to perhaps shift De Bruyne into one of those holding midfielder or deep-lying playmaker roles instead, they can then put De Ketelaere in that number 10 role. That would then allow De Bruyne to run with the ball at his feet and still have De Ketelaere out wide as well, or cutting in to provide an additional body in the build-up. I think then you could look at Yuri Tillemans perhaps playing as the pivot in that midfield. But I think if they continue to play with the 4-2-3-1, it creates a situation where Belgium are just forced to play a slow, patient possession style of football. The problem with that is it suits the way France opt to play. France can then just win the ball and convert to goal-scoring chances instead. And that's why I think here France come in with a bit of an advantage. I think between the two sides, and if we just look at individual talent, France outclass Belgium just a little bit. I think France have players throughout the pitch who can convert chances and who can change a match. I think Belgium have these players in particular positions, and if you mark those players out and you just silence them in those positions, Belgium then struggle as a unit. And I think that's what we've seen happen with Belgium in the matches in this tournament so far. I think in particular France here are looking to score goals, but I think Belgium, if they do score first, will be looking to defend. And that's where France can spring their trap and just utilize the stamina and pace that they have in abundance. My final scoreline here will be France 2, Belgium 0. I think Belgium will try to get at France, but I think France just have too much of a solid unit. I think in their goalkeeper as well, France have a little bit more quality than Belgium. And I think it's these pockets of individual quality that will end up being the game changer in this fixture. Hi, thank you for making it to the end of this video. We really appreciate the watch time and the fact that you took some time out of your day to spend it with us talking about the sport that we all love. If you enjoyed the content, why not, drop a like down below or comment in the comment section. Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. And I mean, while you are here right now, have a look at some of our old videos too. They should be appearing on the screen right now, along with that subscribe button. So you know exactly what to do. Thank you so much. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And have a great day out there. And we hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks. Stay safe.